I'm consumer advocate Tom Martino. Concerned about your retirement? Looking for a way out of debt? Saving for a home? A new car? College? You found the right show. Smart Money Moves with certified financial planner Joseph Quijano.
Hello, this is Joseph Quijano, certified financial planner, and I want to welcome you to the Smart Money Moves radio show. Thank you for listening. We are called the No Nonsense Financial Planning Show because we're going to teach you what money looks like in today's economy. And I'm joined today by two financial planners, Michael Ladd and Jordan Quijano. Hello, gentlemen.
Hey, how's it going?
Doing just fine.
It's good to be back for another show.
Absolutely. You know, the topic of today is going to be something that is going to be phenomenal for people to learn how to actually get rid of or avoid it altogether. And it's called debt. Debt. People are burdened by debt in today's economy. They're carrying a huge burden that they just don't know how to get out of it. I mean, they're drowning in debt. So today's topic is going to be a topic very timely on how to help you reduce any kind of debt that you may have so you can actually have not only a tax-free retirement, but what about a debt-free retirement? Debt-free retirement as well as a tax-free retirement. And that's what people really want.
Absolutely. And I think by you saying avoiding, you're not necessarily saying just avoiding your debt altogether and forgetting about it. Because the sad part is there's a record. We're hitting every day new record highs on our national debt, not only as a federal government, but the American household debt has hit a record of $14.6 trillion just in last year. And the sad part is the Federal Reserve is continuing to print money. We're continuing to fund new economic agendas. Whether it doesn't matter what political side you're on, the government's funding these new agendas, and the debt in our national ceiling is just continuing to go up. And we're constantly seeing in the media that the government is going to get shut down because of a new financial debt measure. And that's the sad, important part is, we're continuing to pile on more and more debt as a country, as each individual household. Credit cards are becoming more prevalent. They seem very attractive out there when people are saying, 0% interest for 1 year. But the problem is we're continuing to pile that on.
Yeah. And I think, if it wasn't mentioned earlier, but with the national debt, we talked about the household debt being $14.6 trillion. The national debt is almost nearing $30 trillion. $30 trillion. That is, you can't even fathom how many zeros that is and how big that is. And it's just shocking to know it's increasing by the day, not only on the interest we owe on that debt, but also with all these new government plans that are going in place to help recover from, unfortunately, this terrible pandemic we all faced. It's just something that's looming on the other side of the mountain. And we all know it's there, but it's scary to think of what could happen. Not only the government shutting down, but potentially to a point where the dollar collapses. For a full point, because there's just so much debt. So I see this with a lot of my clients and a lot of listeners that are listening in. That's a fear that everybody's feeling right now is, what do they put their money in? What should they do? Should they start investing in gold? Should they, start getting canned goods and ammo? It's a scary time, but the thing is the country, we've always done a good position to always recover. And I think this is what we're going to be talking about today. That is, as a country, we recover. Well, as individuals, as households, it can feel the same way. When we have households of debt, mortgages, credit cards, student loans, vehicle loans, all stacked up against us, it could feel exactly the same, where we don't see the light at the end of the tunnel. And let me tell you, we'll show you how to recover and how you can beat this terrible debt and get ahead financially.
Jordan, one thing that really it comes to mind, when we used to do seminars before COVID came, we used to call the three thieves, right?
That's right.
And one of the thieves were banks and credit card companies.
Oh, yeah.
Did you know that out of every dollar that the average American family makes, 34.5% of that dollar goes to pay finance charges?
That's huge.
That's 34 and a half.
Third, yeah.
1/3 of that dollar goes to pay credit cards and bank loans. My gosh. I mean, those banks are thieves. I really believe that they're thieves because they're making 34.5%. And guess what? They're giving you less than 1% on your money.
Right.
What a great business to be in, right?
Of course. And they lend it out for even more. They take your money, lend it out to the next person while you're sitting there getting 0.5% on your money. And they're making probably close to 9, 10, maybe even the upwards of 15 to 20 on a credit card.
And be careful, Michael. You know, I know you're going to have a brand new baby here shortly.
Yep.
But I tell you what, when your kids become teenagers, look at the mailbox, and you will see offers from credit card companies and banks to give your kids a credit card at that age.
Yeah.
So see, they're beginning to plant seeds to get people into debt. Think about that.
Loan sharks.
It is loan sharks out there. I mean, they're like sharks waiting offshore, you know. And you're absolutely right. We're actually already seeing that with my oldest. That we're starting to get stuff in the mail, and she's not even close to being 18. And they're just starting to put that seed, and you see it on social media. You know, unfortunately, everything is tracked to what we do. Your Google searches, everything, and so you start looking at purchasing anything. The first thing you're going to start to see is ways to purchase that on credit. And you know what? It's not a bad thing to use other people's money if you're not paying an interest charge.
That's right.
That's the important part, is if you can use other people's money to purchase the things you want to purchase, but don't have to have an interest rate attached to it, there's no better way to purchase that.
That's right.
OPM, other people's money. It's been one of the most used acronyms when it comes to building financial wealth. Is OPM. And so you're spot on with that. It's taking the right money from the right person, though. That's important because a lot of times the interest not only is hurting you because of how much money and how much you're going to owe, but it's the compound effect that people don't focus on. When you look at buying a house, a mortgage, we all think, you know what? Interest rates are great right now. Heck, they're almost less than 2% that you could get a 30-year mortgage on, which, I mean, that's been unheard of. So what do people do? We run, refinance, and get the clock start ticking all over again. When in reality, we forget that, you know what? Even if it was 2% or 3% on our loan, that's not what you're paying. At the end of the day, when you look at how much you would pay over the 30 years, you're paying close to about 200 to 300% on that loan because you pay 2 times, if not 3 times over for that house. This is where we're trying to open your eyes. And not only that, but this is how smart banks are. This is truly how smart banks are. In the first 15 years, they make sure they get their money back plus the interest. So when you make your payments, as anybody looks at your statement, your monthly payment, you got about 80% of it going to interest. And maybe if you're lucky, 20%, maybe even 10% is actually paying down the principal. I mean, that's shocking to me. And that stays like that for the first 10 to 15 years. And then once they get their money back and their interest, then they start letting you pay down the principal. So think about this. You start to ask yourself, do banks have it down to a science now that you start to see these interest rates always kind of go down every 10 to 15 years? And what happens? We go refinance just to restart that 15-year clock over and over and over to never pay down any principal. All we're doing is giving the interest to the bank for free. That's the issue we're sitting in right now.
Absolutely. And I think the most overwhelming part is people have seen their debt. Some probably don't even know where their debt truly is. So call our office today at 303-800-2919. We will help you with a free debt analysis to help you analyze exactly where your debt is today, including your car loans, credit card statements, mortgages. We'll look at a full financial review and then show you a way to get out of debt in 9 years or less. Again, that's 9 years or less. We can get you out of debt, including your mortgage. So call us today at 303-800-2919 and request that free budget analysis.
And Michael, I was going to say, not only getting out of debt in 9 years or less, including their mortgage, but that's without refinancing, because we're not really a mortgage broker.
Yeah,
we don't do mortgages, okay? But I mean, the strategy that we have called Become the Banker. Why do we call it that? Banks make a lot of money, don't they? As we've been talking about this. So if you were to become your own banker and make the money that you're losing to other banks, would that be a good deal, you think?
Absolutely.
You could be wealthy as them. Yeah.
Right. That's exactly what Become the Banker strategy is all about. And we can help the listeners learn about the Become the Banker strategy by calling the office at 303-800-2919 or just going to the website, mymoneymyway.com, and actually see a short video explaining the concept of becoming your own banker.
Yep. And I think, along with that goes with the flow of money. I mean, when you look at banks, we were kind of just talking about this. Banks will take your money and lend it out, but they're going to lend it out at a much higher interest rate. And guess what? They do that over and over again. So if you look at a car, somebody wants to buy money or borrow money to get a car. So they go to the bank, get a loan for $20,000, $30,000. Bank gives it to them for 6% interest. Perfect. Next thing happens. The guy goes, buys that car, pays cash, gives it to the bank, to the automobile company. What does that automobile company do? They come back and put that money right back at the bank. And now their bank's giving them maybe 1 or 2%. So this circle keeps on going over again. The next person comes in, borrows for a house, does it all over again, takes the money, gets at a higher interest rate, goes buys a house. The person who owned the house that sold to him takes that money, goes deposit it at the bank just to, again, get maybe 1 or 2% interest. And it over and over again, we're on a losing end of this. They are earning interest on the same money over and over, hand over fist kind of money that we're talking about. And it's one of the best businesses in the world. So take this to heart, that if you can use that same idea of using the flow of money as well as OPM, other people's money, and tie that to your world, whether you have debts now or future debts, when you get another car, new tires, that is where the Become the Banker strategy can help you create a tremendous amount of wealth and keep it all tax-free. So we're going to be coming to a break here. Again, give us a call at 303-800-2919. That's 303-800-2919. This is Jordan Quijano with Smart Money Moves Radio Show, and we'll be right back with you after this break.
I'm Tom Martino, and I recommend this show to show you how to make your money work for you. For more information, 303-800-2919. You're listening to this show because you too want to make smart money moves. Hello, I'm consumer advocate Tom Martino. I'm proud to recommend Joseph Quijano to help you get out of debt, save for retirement, college, or for your dreams. Find out more online at mymoneymyway.com. Or call 303-779-6600. That's 779-6600. It could be the smartest money move you ever make. Back to the show, all about money. Money working for you. For more information, call 303-800-2919.
All right, welcome back. We got here Jordan Quijano, my father Joseph Quijano, as well as Michael Ladd. We are all financial planners of Become the Banker, and we are on Smart Money Moves Radio Show, bringing you the no-nonsense information on how to build wealth and really just the financial information we should have been taught in schools. I mean, today's world, I would say that the average person doesn't have even the basic knowledge on how to build wealth. And it's not due to them. It's just unfortunate because we don't have the resources like we once did, where we're not given information on how to even have a budget in today's world, how to balance a checkbook. Because I guess probably people don't use checks anymore, do they, Michael?
No, not at all. It's a little outdated there, but I do know some people still try to write checks at places that don't accept it. So
it's crazy, right?
And the sad part, as we're talking about debts and national debts, I wanted to bring in some information here to start this segment off of talking about the average amount of debt by generations. We don't solely focus on one generational planning here at Become the Banker on Smart Money Moves Radio. We will work with any clients ages 18 and up. And that's where we're different, because we're taking some financial strategies into account that will help every single American, no matter where they're at in their financial walk, help set them up for future success. And the sad part is I'm looking, at my notes here, and Generation Z, which is your ages 18 to 23 right now, they have an average of $16,000 in debt already.
Wow.
Millennials that are ages 24 to 39 are averaging $87,000 in debt. That's not including if they've already purchased a house.
Of course, right.
And then you look at the next generation, Generation X, the ages 40 to 55, $140,000 in debt. And then you got your baby boomers, probably one of the most critical stages right now. There's over 10,000 of them retiring a day. And that's ages 56 to 74. They're averaging 97. So you can see that the baby boomers are getting things right. They're getting their debts decreased as they're entering retirement. But even the silent generation, those that are 75 and older right now, that are fully retired, hopefully, have an average of $41,000 in debt.
Wow.
And so you can see some drastic numbers. And it's just appalling to me that we have 18-year-olds out there that have that much debt already.
Yeah. I mean, and we mentioned it right before the break. I mean, they get advertised credit cards at such an early age that they don't even know how to handle money, and most of them don't even have bank accounts open quite yet. I mean, this is what is scary. It really is. I've had many of my friends have talked about this, that when you go to college, you know what? You're a college student. You're trying to get by as much as you can with what little money you have, and if you're working a job, you bring in some funds there. But a lot of times, not only are you walking out of college with a student loan, but most people are walking out of college with huge credit card debt. You know what I mean? When you get given a credit card and you're 18, 19, 20, 21, and you say, hey, here's some free money. What do you think they're going to do? It's not free, but no better, and they spend it. So how do we reverse this? I mean, how do we, as our economy is looming for some crazy amount of debt and interest that we're doomed here for, how do we, as a family and individual, change that debt conversation with our family? I mean, it starts with understanding where you're at with your debt, understanding what you could do, how to get out of debt, and of course, highlighting that and showing the next generation, whether it be your kids or your grandkids, how to get out of debt themselves. And so with Become the Banker, that was what we focus on, is helping you sit down, pull the numbers out on the table, whether you have mortgage, student loans, credit cards, medical debts, tax debts, all debts. We put it out on the table and we be realistic about it. It's easy to turn a blind eye to it, but you have to face it. And we put it down with numbers that you're paying right now and how you can be out of debt in less than 9 years. That's the goal, is to pay off that house in under 9 years and to pay off everything else, vehicles, credit cards, within the first couple years, 2 to 3, maybe even 5 years at most. So by doing this, it's not only going to save you interest. I mean, that's the easy part. The most important part is it's going to keep you on the track of being debt-free going forward, and you're going to keep money always working for you in your Become the Banker plan. And passing that information down to the next generation is honestly, it's priceless. It's worth so much. And that's how I was blessed with my father. He did this with me when I was 16 years old. Isn't that true?
That is right.
He actually sat me down. I was looking to purchase my first vehicle, 1999 Jeep Grand Cherokee Laredo, 130,000 miles, a good first-time vehicle. And we looked at it. I found it in the back of a newspaper when you could really find cars back then. I mean, geez, now I feel like I'm dating myself. But
that's right.
Seriously, I mean, I was
Newspapers aren't even distributed anymore.
Right? I was able
not.
to find it on the back of the newspaper, and I took it to him. And I said, Dad, I found the perfect car. How are we going to get this? Well, he sat down and looked at me and said, how are we going to get this? How are you going to get this, Jordan? You're going to have to get a job. I mean, money doesn't just grow on trees. Well, I sat down with him, and he showed me that he actually started a Become the Banker policy on me when I was first born, and he funded it all these years. And he had me do one lesson that's so crucial that I will remember for the rest of my life. He had me call the bank. And at that time, it was First Bank. Had me call the bank and ask him, Mr. Bank, Mrs. Bank, if I were to go with you, what would be the interest rate and what would be the monthly payment if I were to get a loan with you guys? They told me, being my first vehicle, I had a cosigner, but it was still high. I think it was somewhere like the 8 or 9%, maybe even 7, because my first vehicle obviously didn't have any credit built. And the payment was close to somewhere I think it was 200 range, 150 to 200
How about
range.
250, yeah.
Yeah, it was closer to 200, I recall. But that's what the payment was going to be. So my father said, you could do 2 options here. You take the loan from First Bank and give them the money and the interest and walk away with the car. Or you could become your own banker by using your policy, do the same exact thing. Borrow money from your policy, pay cash for the Jeep, but pay yourself back the same monthly payment and the same interest rate. And that's what I chose. At the end of 3 years, I had the Jeep paid off. But most importantly, I had all that money the bank was going to make off of me, plus the interest back in my pocket. So I walked away with the car and the money. This is a real life situation I've used multiple times with multiple vehicles since then. I've put it down on a down payment on my condo, and I own 2 homes now because I've used this strategy throughout my whole life. Now, I know not everybody's fortunate enough sometimes to have a financial planner as their father, but I got to say, this is what I'm talking about, passing that information down to the next generation. Making smart money moves and showing not only yourself and your family, but how the next generation can stay out of debt. So give us a call at 303-800-2919. That's 303-800-2919. Or visit us at mymoneymyway.com just so you can find out how this could be a realization for you and your family, just like it has been for me.
You know, I really remember that. And it's a legacy that you want to pass on to your children or grandchildren. What a lesson. What a lesson. It's a financial lesson that's going to make money for people because they become their own banks. But I do want to become real about one thing, okay? I'm in the baby boomer generation, Michael. Okay, I'm in that age group. And to go into retirement with $97,290 in debt. Now, I cannot question that on a way. You know why? Some people refinance their home.
Yep.
So it's more than that. I mean, this is just an average.
Absolutely.
I mean, just think of somebody, you know, with the rates being so low and everybody wants to refinance their homes. They're going to go into retirement with maybe $300,000 worth of debt. $300,000 worth of debt. And you know the sad part is that most baby boomers, the majority of them, have less than $200,000 in their retirement accounts. So tell me, how are they going to be able to retire comfortably?
Right. They're not. They're going to continuously have those nights where they can't sleep because they're worried about their financial future. And what if I have to go back to work because they didn't plan properly? And the good part is it's never too late to start. So if you are in Joe's age grade of baby boomers, call us today and let us help you see a different way to plan for where you're currently at. It's never too late to start. It's truly amazing to me, Joe, the fact that people don't know about this financial strategy. I sat down with a client 2 days ago and just had a high-level conversation with her about the Become the Banker strategy. And when I showed her that she can get a 5% guaranteed interest rate in the policy, she was mind-blown that it was too good to be true.
That's the statement right there. Too good to be true. And it's because
but it's not.
We're not used to that. And it's not. That's reality. It's been around for over 200 years. This has been one of the best kept secrets of the wealthy, but we just are not. It's not known to a lot of people because, again, we don't have that financial information obtainable to a lot
Well, you
of
have
us.
to think out of the box, okay? And that's what people have done in the past. You have to think, to be able to get ahead financially in today's economy, you have to think out of the box. You know, the old products that we used to use, the old strategies that we used to use, they're not working anymore, right, Michael? They're not working anymore.
Yeah, those bank CDs just aren't cutting it.
Right. Or look at the stock market. I mean, it's so volatile in today's economy.
Right.
Some people make money, people lose money. They're tired of that. So I believe that you got to think out of the box and start doing something totally different. Because what strategies used to work in the past, they're not working today. Products in the past are not working today. So you have to do something totally different.
And that advice that your parents or grandparents might have had with their economy could have worked for them. But that's the difference is you have to go with what's going on in today's economy with your life, and you cannot compare yourself to others. You have to figure out what works for you and your family. So we're going to be coming to another break here, and we really want to hit on this topic because debt right now is so crucial. We have to get debt under control. We have to pay it all off. So give us a call at 303-800-2919. That's 303-800-2919, or visit us at mymoneymyway.com. This is Jordan Quijano with Smart Money Moves, and we'll be right back after this short break.
You're listening to Smart Money Moves, the show showing you how to make your money work for you. For more information, call 303-800-2919. You're listening to this show because you too want to make smart money moves. Hello, I'm consumer advocate Tom Martino. I'm proud to recommend Joseph Quijano to help you get out of debt, save for retirement, college, or for your dreams. Find out more online at mymoneymyway.com or call 303-779-6600. That's 779-6600. It could be the smartest money move you ever make. I'm Tom Martino, and I recommend this show to show you how to make your money work for you. For more information, 303-800-2919.
Welcome back to Smart Money Moves radio show. This is Jordan Quijano with Joseph Quijano and Michael Ladd. We're all talking about black swan events. You know, these world events that are going on in today's day and age that we have no control over. And unfortunately, not only are they just terrorizing to the world itself, but they're damaging your future forever. We're talking about your retirement accounts, your money that's gone, not making you any more interest, but you have to try to get back to even. So what are you to do? How can you protect yourself? That is what we're talking about. Smart Money Moves radio show here. You give us a call at 303-800-2919 or visit us at mymoneymyway.com just to get a little bit more information on everything we're speaking about. Now, right before the break, I was going into what Michael had talked about. I was leading off of it. He's mentioned that we had a 10% bonus. Isn't that right, Michael?
Yes, absolutely. With one of the products that we are able to use with our clients that guarantees 100% no market risk, we're able to get them up to a 10% bonus based on age and asset level.
Wow.
And it varies in between there. But yes, most of our clients that we're seeing today are getting a 10% bonus. And just to put that into an actual number for these listeners to hear, our average client that we're meeting with and showing this opportunity to are getting $20,000 to $30,000 as a free upfront bonus.
Beautiful.
Which, like I mentioned at the beginning of the show, before you dive into the story real quick, the market's currently down 10%. So if you were worried about letting that market come back up before you locked in your gains and remove that risk out of your portfolio, if you move that money today, we can offset that 10% loss day one, and you're back to even where you were at before the Ukraine crisis.
Well said. I mean, and that's something I always talk to all my clients about this. You got to know when to pull the trigger on getting out of the market. Nobody has a crystal ball to say that this is the right time, tomorrow's the best time. Hey, you're going to be up another 30%, so wait then. You got to just get off when you know it's right. And it's a lot, just like you said, is based off their age and kind of circumstance where the retirement window is. So if you're asking yourself, well, why don't I just wait until this pans over and then get the 10% on top of that? You could do that, or it could go drop another 20 or 30%. That's the reality of this. We have no idea how deep this hole can go, and that's why we encourage you, take action now, be able to erase what's happened, get your account back to what it was, back to even, and guess what? Once you're on our train or our roller coaster over here, it just goes straight up. And there is no up and down. You're able to allow it to continue to grow. Anytime the market crashes with our accounts, you stay level. You don't have to make back what you've already lost to the market. That's huge. So real quickly on my client, I was mentioning these beautiful benefits, not only talking about the up to 10% bonus, not only just talking about the no risk, but it also has some long-term care benefits. It also has the ability to pass on legacy if you do pass away, that there's still some money. So he asked me just straight point blank, what is the downside to this? This sounds way too good. What's the downside? And to be honest, there isn't much downside except for liquidity. I mean, the reality of this is this money is meant for your future. It's meant for your retirement, just like your 401k. You really can't go take that money out of your 401k today. If you did, if you're under the age of 59 and a half, you're going to get a 10% penalty from Uncle Sam. On top of that, you're going to pay taxes of close to another 20% between federal and state. So you get hit with 30% if you touch your 401ks or IRAs. So they're not liquid, but that's the point is if that money is, you're already used to not living without it right now and growing it, why not put it somewhere that you have a guarantee, a backbone that it'll always be there for your retirement plan. You never have to worry about the what if. So I ask you all, if this sounds comfortable, if you want to find out some more information and can just fit in your financial plan and you want to get off of that rocky up and down roller coaster with the stock market, again, give us a call at 303-800-2919 and request that free Smart Money Moves book to help you understand what we're talking about.
You know what I'd like to mention that nobody, like you said earlier, nobody has a crystal ball. They're not able to predict, no matter who you go see, they're not going to tell you that the market is going to go up a year from now. They cannot tell you if the market is going to go down either. Nobody knows what's going to happen. So let me ask the listeners this. How much money are you willing to lose?
That's a great question, Joe. And I know you asked that, and all three of us really asked that in every single client meeting. And the answer is astounding to me, really. I think we can all agree on this. About 100% of the people we meet with say they want to lose zero.
Zero. That is right. So why keep the money in a place where there's the potential of losing it?
Yep.
All of it.
It's
now,
true.
Now think about this. I mean, if you put your money in the stock market, let me ask you this question, okay? And let me ask the listeners this. If you have money in the stock market, do you have complete control of that money?
Absolutely not.
Nope, there's no way.
So we're talking about today about the black swan theory, right? So that means that we have no control over the world events. We have no control over what's happening today. We have no control what's going to happen in the future.
Yep.
If the war escalates, like, Vladimir Putin said he was going to put the nuclear forces on high alert. What do you think that's going to do to the market?
It's only going to drive fear.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's the
Fear, and the
response.
market's going to go down, you see. That would be another black swan event.
And let me jump on that because you make a good point. I mean, let me ask you all. I mean, does your broker know when this next black swan event's going to happen? I mean, to make your retirement money go in half of what it is today. I mean, just like you said, nobody has a crystal ball, whether it's your 401k administrator or if you have a financial advisor or a broker. I mean, do they understand that not only these terrorist attacks, corruptions, natural disasters are all reasons that the market can crash and go down? But yet they're always saying, just buy and hold. Or you know what? Write it out. It's okay. We'll recover from this. But you got to ask yourself, how many times do you want to hear that? How many times do you want to just buy and hold, lose your money, be at a place in your head that you're saying, gosh, my account's down $30,000 this week. I hope it gets back next week. That's too much stress. It's not worth doing it. So it's time to put your money guaranteed locations. Yes, you could keep some money still in speculative of getting some growth, some higher opportunity, but don't have it all of your account. You hit it right there, Joe. It's too much of a risk to have all of your money there waiting to go down if the market goes down.
It is, Jordan. And Michael, I think you and I were talking about this regarding what the market has really done. I mean, really, if you stop and think about it, yes, you're going to have some high peaks with the market, but when the market goes down, you're going to lose not only your principal, but you're going to lose what? Your profit that you made in the market.
Absolutely.
So at the end, if you were to track the stock market for maybe 10 to 15 years, the market is now returning 10%. What is the average that they're returning?
It's usually closer to 5 or 6, and that's after you're taking in the fees that are also being charged by your broker.
And let's not forget taxes. That's not including taxes. So if you are in a tax bracket of maybe 20 to 30%, you're not making more than maybe 3 or 4% in the stock market.
Yep.
So is it worth it? Is it worth it to go through all the pain and suffering of the ups and downs of the market based on no control of yours?
And I'll tell you, the answer to that question is astounding. No, it's not. Because that's what we hear every day in our office with the new clients that are coming in from listening to this show each and every week that we sit down with. Once they see this plan and process of how they can remove that risk, and they understand that they will get a consistent, guaranteed rate of return that compounds each and every year up to 7% for lifetime income that they will never outlive. Joe, that client that you talked about earlier, we sat down with her and we moved $1 million from her old orphan 401k that Jordan was talking about. and moved it into safety just before the Ukraine invasion. And even in the process of helping her through this, if she didn't move the money when she met with us, she would have lost another $15,000 minimum during that time period that she was able to capture and save and rescue from the market risk. And I also want to talk about that. Not only did she save her money from market risk, she also got a long-term care benefit that will pay a 200% increase on her monthly income if she is terminally ill, confined to her home, can't complete 2 of 6 daily living activities. She's going to increase her income by 200%.
Yeah.
That's absolutely
amazing.
free. There's no charge for that.
It's a part of it. And that's the other black swan that people are getting more and more used to seeing it today. It's almost a white swan, I think, at this point, is long-term care. We're all needing some form of long-term care, whether it's a nursing facility, an Alzheimer's facility, somebody coming to your house to take care of you medically. It's unfortunate, but it's a reality now. But we all need it. And it's staggering how expensive it is. We're talking about the average cost just for a basic facility in the U.S., you can look this up, is right around $9,000 a month. That's a month. So if you don't plan for this, you can wipe out any financial plan. That's over $100,000 a year. Think about that. And people typically, unfortunately, the average baby boomers close to only about 200,000 plus, maybe 250 in their 401k. So if they go into that, that is wiped out in 2 years, and they have nothing to leave behind.
And not only that, Jordan, but you see, if people are needing long-term care, they lose their independence. Because when people don't have enough money to be able to choose where they want to go, and they don't have enough money, so they want to go into Medicaid, then they have absolutely no control as to where the state is going to send them. And you see, to me, I want to have some control.
Absolutely.
So with the guaranteed pension account, you regain that control, don't we, Mike?
Absolutely. You get that 10% bonus. I'm going to just kind of recap how
Sure.
the control works. You're going to get that 10% bonus up front, day one on your deposits in the first year. You're going to get an income stream that's going to compound at 7% each and every year for up to 20 years. It will create income you will never outlive. So in all, you're removing market risk. You're removing longevity risk that you're going to outlive your money. You're reducing taxation risk because you're not going to have to pay capital gains tax on your increases. With us, you're going to be paying a steady annual income taxation on your annual income tax, and it's going to be deferred for each and every year. So you're only going to pay tax on the portion that you're withdrawing each year on your distribution, and you don't have to worry about the long-term care risk of paying those high costs because it's going to pay up to 200%. So we're going to take a quick break. Give us a call at 303-800-2919. Again, this is Smart Money Moves Radio. We'll be right back.
You're listening to Smart Money Moves, the show showing you how to make your money work for you. For more information, call 303-800-2919. Concerned about your retirement? Looking for a way out of debt? Saving for a home? A new car? College? Hello, I'm consumer advocate Tom Martino, recommending certified financial planner Joseph Quijano. When he's not doing his show, you can reach him at 303-779-6600. That's 303-779-6600. Or online at mymoneymyway.com. That's mymoneymyway.com. 303-779-6600. Back to the show, all about money. Money working for you. For more information, call 303-800-2919. Now, here's Joseph Quijano, certified financial planner.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. This is Joseph Quijano, certified financial planner. And I'm here again with Michael Ladd and Jordan Quijano. We are having a lot of fun with this episode because it's really, really reality today of what's happening in today's economy. We're talking about the black swan theory. That Mr. Talib, a very intelligent man who not only is he works in the stock market, for God's sake, and he has written this book entitled The Black Swan. What is a black swan? See, I want to make sure that everybody understands that there are unpredictable events that we have no control over. An example of a black swan would be like what's happening today. Russia invades Ukraine. Do we have any control on that, Michael?
Absolutely not.
So you know what happens? That's a black swan. Whenever something like that rattles the economy worldwide, what happens to the stock market?
Drops. It starts to tremble as well.
Absolutely. So people that have money in the stock market, like you and I mean, we suffer, don't we?
Absolutely.
So consumers today are suffering and they're being fearful that they're losing their money. So we at Smart Money Moves, we have the solution for that. We have what we call the purple cow in financial planning. Purple cow in financial planning. And that is that we have a guaranteed account called the Guaranteed Pension Account that will rescue your money away from the danger of the stock market so you don't have to worry about black swans getting it. And we're going to put it into safety to make sure that you can reach your financial goals. So give us a call, please. Give us a call at 303-800-2919. Again, 303-800-2919. And please ask for your free copy of the best-selling book entitled Smart Money Moves, How to Make Money Without Losing Your Money in Any Economy.
Absolutely. And I just want to kind of talk about those black swan events real quick. I'm sitting here looking at a historical performance of the S&P 500, as that's the traditional benchmark that everyone talks about. And just looking at this history, going back to 1941, we have over 57 black swan events on my list here. And that's not including anything that's happened in the last 4 years. And that starts with Pearl Harbor and goes all the way through the Gulf War, the Arab oil embargoes. You have 9/11, the Iraq War, the World Trade Center bombings. Then now you start to add in the pandemic of COVID-19. Now you have Russia invading Ukraine. Who knows what's going to come around the corner on the next one? So the reality is when I'm looking at this, and this is a report from a well-trusted source from B. Riley Wealth Management. Paul Dietrich is their chief investment strategist. And he's a great friend of mine. I've actually been able to spend quite a bit of time with him. And he writes periodicals every quarter. And he just released this historical S&P chart with all of these key events and the impact that they've had. And when you look at this, and this is something we can sit down and show you in our office, that the average major event in world news or even local has impacted the S&P 500 within 3 to 6 months and even 12 months after the event. Of up to negative 36% returns.
Oh, my Lord.
And then that's not even taking into consideration the tech bubble and the housing crisis are not considered black swan events, according to Paul Dietrich. So you take those into consideration. It's important to lock in your gains today. There's no delay in what you need to do for your retirement.
Yeah.
Call us today to lock in those gains and get your money moved to safety and take advantage of that 10% bonus up front day one. So if you are currently sitting with a little bit of a loss in your retirement portfolio, we can offset that with up to a 10% bonus and start to get you a 7% compounded rate of return that is guaranteed for up to 20 years. So that way you can generate income that you will never outlive and be able to get those long-term care benefits that will pay up to 200% of your monthly income that you're receiving.
Perfect. Let me say something real quickly, please. We were talking about, those black swan events, Michael and Jordan. I just had a client over the weekend that actually had a black swan event actually take his money, but he wasn't in the stock market. He was smart enough to pull his money away from the stock market, get this, and put it into what he thought safety and liquid. So he went to the local bank, and I'm not going to mention any names, but it's a local bank. And he says, I want to put this money into a plain money market account, savings. Well, when he met me, we tried to roll the money over because it's an IRA. And to his surprise, he found that the money was put in on a 60-month CD. 60-month CD. That if he were to cancel it or take the money out, that there would be a surrender penalty. So you don't have to be in the stock market to lose money. And why would you want to keep it on a CD, making less than 1%?
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's true. Now, what was that number you said there, Michael? Was it 38% you said that they've lost over the S&P 500?
The average fluctuates anywhere between 9% upwards of 38% within the 12 months preceding
right after
a
the
black
event
swan
happens.
event.
So think about this. I mean, if you're in retirement years or coming up to planning to retire, and one of these black swan events hit, just think about the damage that could do to your account. I mean, you're going to probably say, well, I can't retire right now. I'm going to have to work another a year or 2 years just to get back to where it was. And this, ladies and gentlemen, this is what we're talking about. You don't need to go the traditional route of just 401ks, hoping and praying that the market's up when you retire, or hoping and praying that you just get back to even. I mean, that's what I've heard from a lot of clients, that they don't even want to make any extra money. They just want to get back to even. And that's crazy that's what you have to do for your retirement accounts, that you just hope that you get back to where you are. So to me, it's just like gambling. I've heard this over and over again from a lot of my clients. It's no better than gambling. You're putting money into the market, hoping it's up, and if it goes up, you're excited, but you still want more. You stay there, hoping to get double that, but then it goes the other direction. So it's time to get off that table of gamble here and just put your money somewhere guaranteed. You're going to get growth no matter what. You're going to get the upside growth when the market's up, but better yet, when the market comes down, you lock in your earnings. And even if the market did drop for the next 10 years straight, which would just be absolutely insane, but let's just say that hypothetically the market did not even do any gains for 10 years forward, with these accounts, you're always getting a guaranteed step up. They compound with a guaranteed floor of at least 5% every year, and that's an annual 5%, and it caps out at 150%. So think about that. 5% compounded every year. That could really, really get you into the right direction for income that you could count on. And hopefully we get better than 10 or 20% with the markets, but you at least have a backbone to sit on. So we really want you to take advantage of this. Give us a call. Get your free copy of Smart Money Moves. That's 303-800-2919, or visit us at mymoneymyway.com just to get a little bit more information. If your spouse isn't on the radio show with you today, or your significant other, and you want to have them hear more about this, again, go to mymoneymyway.com, or better yet, just set up an appointment with us directly, and we can get you in the right direction today.
Absolutely. And I think the big part here, Jordan, is we were talking about a lot of numbers and statistics. When you come in and meet with us, we're going to put what we're saying in action and show you a plan that's actually laid out for you of how these guaranteed pension accounts that we're talking about compare to the S&P 500. We're able to show you exactly, if you put your money into these accounts 20 years ago, how they would be compared to the S&P 500, and show you that they're actually outproducing the S&P 500, and we're reducing the amount of fees that you're paying to your broker. So give us a call, 303-800-2919, and request that free portfolio review so we can show you exactly the amount of risk that you're taking, that you're assuming you're taking, and show you a better opportunity to protect those assets.
I think having a guaranteed pension account, Michael, is a real simple way of creating safety. Safety, total safety. And this is really what people want, but they just want, I think people are afraid. They feel inundated with so many numbers. They think it's too complicated. Well, I'm here to tell people right now that creating wealth and protecting your wealth doesn't need to be complicated. It does not need to be complicated. So if we gave you a lot of numbers today, I want you to feel secure that when you call our number at 303-800-2919, we're going to meet with you and make it very simple for you to understand. There's no complexity here, only simplicity That's Smart Money Moves.
That's true. And I think, just to kind of get towards the show here, towards the end, I just want to give you, a real life idea. This would maybe help with that simplicity. That gentleman I was meeting with today, right around 55 years old, and he had about $250,000 built up in all these accounts. He had about 3 of them that he left behind. Well, guess what? When he retires at age 65, he's going to be getting over $45,000 a year. That is beautiful as a pension for the rest of his life. He's going to get an income, a paycheck he can count on every single year. That's not including Social Security. We're talking about just this account off of $250,000. That's still 10 years out. So if he just left this money, didn't add anything else, he's almost guaranteed almost over $45,000. That's an income right there.
Absolutely, Jordan. We had this lady that Michael and I met that she put $1 million to the guaranteed pension account.
Yeah.
Her income is going to be over $100,000 a year. You know what she said to us? That's more than what I'm making right now.
It's true. It's true. So it all based off of what you have and where you're at. Whether you have $1 million, $2 million, whether you have 100,000 or less. We're here to help you. We want you to get your foot in the right direction. So give us a call, 303-800-2919. You don't have to be wealthy. You don't have to be rich. You don't have to be poor. You just have to be smart and make the right moves with your money. And that's what we're here to help you with. So thank you for tuning in today. This is Smart Money Moves radio show with Joseph and Jordan Quijano, as well as Michael Ladd. We're local here in Colorado, and we want to invite you into getting your money put away, aside, safe, and guaranteed, so you don't have to worry about these black swan events that we talked about today. So if you like what you heard, please tune in next week. That's every Saturday at 2 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, and we'll be on next Saturday. Looking forward to hearing from you.
You've just heard a presentation of Smart Money Moves. Thanks for joining us. But this is just the beginning of your financial security. Take the next step by calling 303-800-2919 for more information. Or visit online at mymoneymyway.com.